The LGBTQ plus community has supported me. And I think maybe I was aware of it when I did Independence and then followed it with Relight My Fire. It seemed like they were visible. You guys, you girls, you people were visible to me. Hi, I'm Lulu, and I'm speaking to you from my Attitude cover shoot. So there. There are so many things in my life that I don't remember. So many high points, amazing things. So I have had to look at them and I found pictures, I found videos. Remembering all those moments have been incredible. And there's more than 6, but I'm going to try and give you 6. First of all, shout. Hello. The first time it got a big shout out was when John Lennon and Paul McCartney were on Ready, Steady, Go. And they were just talking to Cathy McGowan. Now, if you weren't around then, in the 60s, when Ready, Steady, Go was the biggest television in this country, nobody was on the street when it was on. It was on a Friday night, 6 o'clock. The streets were empty, and everyone was watching TV. And John and Paul were chatting away about all sorts of things. But at the end of their interview, Cathy McGowan said, "So thanks, boys, for coming. I know you follow all the new records that come out. Anything new this week that you like?" John said, "Yeah." He said, "That Lulu, Shout." And Paul said, "Oh, yeah, we love Shout by that little girl, Lulu." Can you imagine? I'd never liked British music, really, until the Beatles. I only liked American music. So when they said that, I think that's what made my record a hit, if I'm fair and honest. So I always like to say thank you, thank you, thank you, John. Thank you, Paul, for mentioning my name, liking my song. That was a huge start to my whole career. Making a movie with Sidney Poitier? Are you kidding me? He's a Hollywood movie star. They asked if I'd be in a film, and James Clavell, who wrote Shogun, Taipan, and Noble House, 3 insanely brilliant books. And he was directing this film. I was on tour with the Beach Boys. And he'd said, well, someone had said, maybe you should take a look at this kid, Lulu. Maybe she could be in the movie. You need a whole classroom of kids, And he said, okay, well, she's on tour with Beach Boys. He said, I'll go see her. He came to see me in my dressing room afterwards. He sort of had a very funny attitude. I thought he was a bit too posh for me and too tall for me because I could hardly look up to him. But what he said to me was, if I have you in my film, he was Canadian, but he spoke with a very sort of British accent. If I have you in my film, he said, I might want you to change the color of your hair. Well, my head was about to blow, but I didn't say anything. I thought, ass. I thought, that's what I was thinking. I thought, yeah, that will be good. That will be the day. But I didn't say that. I went, oh, really? Yeah, uh-huh. I thought, no way I'm going to be in your bloody film. But I changed my mind, obviously, and thank God. But I thought he just looked at me. He wanted to get a reaction from me because actually, that's the kind of part he wanted me to play. So even though I didn't say it to him, he saw it written all over my face. And when we did the film, I didn't have a huge part, but he'd just say things to me. So what do you think about that? Camera, action, and I'd talk. And he'd say, cut, and we'd keep it. It was very unusual, but I was terrified of Sidney, actually. Because, again, he's like 6'3", something like that. Very, very dignified. He didn't hang out with sweatshirts and sneakers. Sidney always wore a suit, a tie, perfectly pressed and ironed. The movie broke all box office records in the history of Columbia Pictures. To Serve with Love, in 1 week, went straight to #1, or 2 weeks, a couple of weeks, like in a flash. So, and it was #1 for 6 weeks, nobody could knock it off the charts. And then Billboard that year said it sold, made the announcement that it sold more records than any other record that year. So it was mind-blowing, and I was only 16 or 17 at the time. What about the fact that my brother and I wrote a hit record for Tina Turner? There's a pale moon in the sky, the kind you build your wishes on, oh, like the light in your eyes. Anyway, we wrote that for Tina Turner, and she It was in her autobiographical movie. It was a #1 record for her around the whole world. The first song I ever wrote at the insistence of my brother. He said, you can write songs, you can. So that's a moment too. Recording with David Bowie, that's not something you sniff at or you forget. Making a hit record with David Bowie was insane. I thought he was Mr. Cool and I was Mrs. Ordinary, you know? I was Mrs. on Saturday night television singing and dancing my head off, and he was just being cooler than cool. I remember when I went on American Idol in the States, I sang live on American Idol twice, 35 million people each night. Was the biggest thrill. That was a moment. Making a duets album, Elton was on it, Paul McCartney was on it, Joe Cocker was on it, Sting was on it, and lots of other people. So those are all moments. Is there any other moments? So many. It's hard to remember them all. Oh my God! What about the fact that I married a Bee Gee, for Christ's sake? No mean feat. I was married to Morris Gibb, and for a few years, I was Mrs. Gibb. So that was a moment in my life that was very special. And I stayed very close to all of that family, and to Morris until he died. To say that Champagne for Lulu is my last tour, I did the first part of it. Every night, the audience reaction was so phenomenal. And looking at all the bits of video, talking about the moments, because I've got them all down. It's 2.5 hours. Not all at once, you have a break in the middle. John Mark says, music is my first love and it will be my last. The men have come, the men have gone, but the music goes on and on and on. So, yeah. I mean, apart from my family, of course, music is everything to me. So it was exciting, it was exhilarating, and it was, people couldn't get tickets. That's why I'm having to do a second part. And I'm happy to be doing that, but it's sad to think, it's not that I won't be working, I'm going to continue to work, but I won't be doing my tours. So it's quite emotional. I don't know if it was Eckhart Tolle that used the words about being in the present. All my childhood and all my young career, I was running, That's why I can't remember what's happened, I'm kind of on to the next thing, on to the next thing, on to the next thing. So I would say to myself, chill, just chill, babe. Enjoy the moment, enjoy it. And also don't judge yourself, I'm such a critic. For instance, people say, oh wow, that was a 15-year-old girl singing Shout. Well, I hear it as like, you make me wanna shout, and because when I sing Shout is, you make me wanna shout, throw my legs up and throw my arms up and I kind of, it's like that was a teeny little voice, but I suppose for a 15-year-old it was a big voice, I suppose, but interesting to reflect. I think what I said before about being in the present, being mindful. I mean, to be honest with you, meditate has been one of the most important things I've ever done. I follow an Eastern path. I have a guru. So for 43 years, I've been meditating. And because I've got a lot of energy, my mind doesn't stop. I'm always on the go. And there were a couple of times there when I was like burning out. And I thought, people would say to me, you've got to learn to meditate, chill, have a moment. And it's more than that. When you meditate, talk about me. When I meditate, but when anyone meditates, I'll be honest with you, it changes your life. It changes your perspective. It helps you to make decisions that you couldn't do because your mind was so full of, which your mind often is, full of, it really helps you to make better decisions in your life and to appreciate. What it means to me to be given Honorary Gay Award, I am honored, I'm humbled, and I'm proud. Oh my God, the LGBTQ plus community has supported me. And I think maybe I was aware of it when I did Independence and then followed it with Relight My Fire. It seemed like they were visible. You guys, you girls, you people were visible to me. And I do this job to make me feel connected. This is when I feel connected, when I'm doing music. And so at that moment, I felt that strong connection. How do I plan to perform my role of being an honorary gay? Is to turn up. In fact, I said to my management this year, I've done a few prides, I've done a few, festivals for the LGBTQ plus community. I want to do them all this year. Next year, I have to wait till next year now. I have to wait till 65. 65, still stuck in time. I have to wait till next year before I can do them all. But I'm doing them, I'm telling you. So you better come along.